without spending too much time talking about what is AI, I wanted to talk about a few places where we've already been interacting with artificial intelligence and things that we've utilized every single day of our lives for a long time and just maybe not have realized it. So what and where it's at. You've ever used Siri, Google products in general, or Hey Google or anything like that, Google Assistants, virtual assistants are one of the first places that AI was really implemented in. Any spam filter, like on your emails, that spam filter utilizes AI. All of the social media algorithms, especially TikTok, utilize AI to help with that algorithm, figuring it all out. If you've ever used the extension Grammarly, highly recommend if you don't have it, type it in Grammarly. It's free to do. Oh my gosh, college students do it. Anybody in education or anybody really typing content online, even for emails, I highly recommend using Grammarly, but it definitely utilizes AI. Payment fraud detection things, any type of inventory, security systems, advertising platforms, not just Google Ads, but across the board. Accounting software, you'd be surprised, usually accounting and banks are one of the first places that start implementing AI and invest into AI or artificial intelligence just because it's the way of kind of removing the human error and putting it all on the computer side. And then finally, google.com. I mean, we've all been there, but Google search itself has used AI for many, many years. But here as of 2019, really, AI has gone through a huge boom where it's been so much more of a necessity and something that people can start utilizing in their own lives, in their own businesses, in their own personal self use cases, much more than just using somebody else's product or service. So this is actually a quote from Larry Page, the co-founder of Google. He says, AI would be the ultimate version of Google. The ultimate search engine in the world, understanding everything on the web. It would understand exactly what you wanted, and it would give you the exact right thing. So we are nowhere near doing that. However, we can get incrementally closer to that, and that's basically what we're working on. So that's Google's co-founder saying, hey, listen, AI is out there, but we need it bigger and better. So all the big companies are doing it. Even if you're a small company, I'll show you how to take advantage of it at least a little bit here. So if you, now these are just the top 10, right? In the chat, go ahead and type a place that you know that uses AI or any type of technology like that that I didn't mention here. And so another example I'm going to say, hopefully I don't steal from someone, is driverless cars. I mean, there's just no way a driverless car could work without artificial intelligence. Does anybody have any other examples of AI or a business product or service that utilizes AI? Yeah, someone said Spotify. Absolutely. Yep. Anyone else? Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff in photography for sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's a ton of it out there. So I do recommend if you're not already utilizing AI to do it today. I'm going to type it into chat. Everybody's heard of Chat GPT. That's kind of the big buzzword that's also gone around. Chat GPT is OpenAI's large language learning model, or LLM. I'll be using some of these bigger words, so if you have any questions, feel free to type in chat. I'll only lightly touch on this because we don't have a ton of time. But really, 2024 has really been an inflection point for AI, specifically in marketing. If you do not like, if it's been more than a week plus since you've used any of these AI chatbots or anything like that, I recommend clicking on chatgpt.com. You don't have to pay for anything. You can literally click on that right now and start a chat with ChatGPT and ask it any general questions that you have. Let's say you don't know what SEO is, or you haven't done any SEO on your website, or you just want to be more interested in it. You can actually search into ChatGPT and say, my business's name is this. And I want to know what are the top 30 keywords that I should be targeting in my next blog. Or I have a business in this city. This is the service that my business does. What are the top 10 keywords that I should be showing up for? You can then utilize that and see, are you actually searching, or are you coming up for those keywords or that service area? So getting and utilizing ChatGPT can be really worthwhile doing. So Nadia said, regarding AI use, any tips for to safeguard IP or oh, I know what it is. Oh, you're gonna make me do something here. What is this? Nope. Yes, there. Thank you, Jim. Intellectual property. Yeah. So how to safeguard intellectual property when using AI such as ChatGPT. Now, depending on the AI you're using. Anything that you put into it, it's going to internalize and come up with its own information from that. So don't put any specific IP or intellectual property in it that you don't want the AI to utilize. One of them is actually Google's note-taking AI. It's called Google Notebook AI. This is it right here. I'll pull it up. This does not take any IP in it to itself. Even if you're somebody that just takes a lot of notes, you can actually utilize this as well. I believe it's still like experimental right now. But what it does is you can put all of the different information that you have about your business, right? Your business plan, anything that's related to your business, put it in there, and then it can ask questions just like Chat GPT, and it will only reference your notes. So it has like the knowledge behind the scenes, but then it'll utilize all the information that you put in it. You can literally put in an entire book into this notebook LM and then ask it questions about that book and have it respond back to you, and almost as if you're talking to a friend that read the book with you. Even if it's a book that you yourself wrote that's not out on the web, and it's all information that you don't want the world to know about, you can put it in Notebook LM and then get it back to you, and it doesn't end up getting fed back to the Notebook LLM. So it won't be fed to the intellectual property. Yes. So that's one place that I recommend if you're wanting to utilize AI but don't want it kind of getting into the AI's hands. That's one place that you can do it. This right here is a picture from Think with Google. That was back in January of 2024. So this year, you are the marketer, AI is the enabler. So I encourage you to implement AI, not just in the business side of it, but for your personal life as well. And my personal experience that I have as a story here was back in early 2020 when a couple of my kids had to be essentially homeschooled. They were still going to school, but they were trying to figure out how to, work a computer because they're doing everything remote wise. One of my daughters was having a hard time with reading comprehension. And it was just because things weren't very interesting to read. And she was kind of getting it, but she wasn't there. And so I actually turned to Chat GPT and I said, hey, Chat GPT, my daughter's name is this. She's interested in these few things, ballet, volleyball, whatever. And I want you to come up with 3 reading passages with multiple questions, multiple choice answering questions that she can then read and improve her reading comprehension. She's in this grade level. And it literally did that. It spit out about 5 or 6 different reading comprehension questions that I would go over with her every single night, have her answer the questions, and it would just be something that I sat and read with her for a couple of minutes. And I got to tell you, within a week, because it was taking her own name and implementing it into the reading passages, it just made it so much more interesting for her to read. It was more purposeful behind it. It wasn't just Bob had an apple, he ate another one. It wasn't boring. It was a lot more interesting for her. So you can really turn this into you can make it and internalize it so many different ways. But really, AI is already transforming your Google experiences, your search experiences in general. It's how these big companies understand your complex questions. Even how Google Photos finds that picture of the dog from many, many, many years ago that you took. Thanks for joining me today in our presentation, The Small Business Trifecta. Have a great rest of your day.